updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotzeben and Friends where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Our tummy ache.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
No tummy ache.
And Rose.
Medium tummy ache.
Tummy ache check.
Hi. Haha.
I am the longtime fan, and Dessy is joining Rose and Tiago as the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives, as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that's near and dear to us. Today, we have all played the second half of Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice's DLC case, Turnabout Time Traveler. How we feeling, folks, after the initial investigation and court segments from last time?
I liked it.
Yeah.
The pacing was
I'm grumpy
better.
today, but I feel pretty positive about the case still, which is nice.
It's a good case.
That's good. Should I get us right into the summary, or did you have any other thoughts up front?
Rich people are stupid.
Okay, interesting.
This is true.
I'll say it at the end.
Okay. Well, then I'll do our summary.
Yay!
Phoenix and Maya began investigating again, this time intending to find out who was the mysterious third man that Ellen saw. They head back to the Flying Chapel and find a bloody candelabra that was definitely used for stabbing and a large blood stain on the elevator. Emma confirms that the blood on both belongs to the same person. But who could it be? Definitely not Soren, who collapses from blood loss the second that Phoenix and Maya start talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
They sneak a peek at Soren's notebook while he's indisposed and find that it's a diary, so detailed that it chronicles minute details down to the moment. Additionally, they find a newspaper article within it, giving all the details of Soren's sister's vehicular accident in which she died. Pierce was also there and reveals more details to them. Both Soren and Selena were injured, but only one could be saved. Selena beseeched the surgeon to save her sibling first, so he surgered Soren, but Selena succumbed to her injuries and died.
Holy shit.
Pierce says that also the surgeon was Selena's fiancé, and he was so depressed that he left the profession. Phoenix ponders. Damn, wonder who that could be. Before you can think too much about before you can think about it too much, Pierce also admits that Gloomsbury stabbed Soren with the candelabra in the airship lift. Lastly, Phoenix and Maya find a backward bloody handle in the Pegable. Thanks, Emma, for fucking up. In court, Phoenix accuses Soren of being the real killer, but everything goes haywire when Ellen attempts to confess to stop that from happening. We get into some arguments about the power of love and whether that allows you to walk outside an airship, but eventually Soren slips up and says he got stabbed with a knife rather than a candelabra. Phoenix instantly pounces on this, and combined with Soren's car accident, he surmises that Soren has a memory disorder. It's revealed that yes, the accident gave Soren a disorder in which every day he wakes up forgetting everything since the accident, every morning effectively resetting his memories back to that day.
51st dates.
51st date.
I know, we all make that joke.
Definitely the second we saw that notebook, I was like, oh, traumatic brain injury incoming.
However, in the back of the notebook is a ripped out page that is revealed to say, I struck and killed Dumas. Soren says, well, I guess that means I did it, even if I don't remember it. But at the last second, Phoenix objects. Surely you would leave the note in there if you had actually done it, because you'd need to remember to cover things up. We drag Pierce onto the witness stand, and by God, he's behaving evil as hell. We break down some details of the murder plot and declare, I bet you were the secret surgeon fiancé. He puts on his surgical mask, at least, and goes to town. Phoenix eventually pins Pierce to where and when he could have killed Dumas, inside the Pegable and during the reception, obscured in the clouds of the fog machine. Pierce has a pretty cool meltdown animation and confesses, revealing that originally he and Dumas had planned to frame Soren, but once plans changed, he pivoted to killing Dumas and pinning it on Ellen to break them up. The judge declares Ellen not guilty and also sorta kinda remarries Soren and Ellen. Lastly, everyone attends the real final not a catastrophe wedding, and Ellen throws the bouquet. Larry catches it and exits stage left, pursued by angry anime women.
That is the last scene in the modern timeline.
That's
Yep.
it.
That's
Larry getting
Larry's
chased
dead
off
now.
screen.
Honestly,
Oh, my bullet pointed plan of note taking to kill Larry finally succeeded.
it's kind of poetic that Larry is killed by women chasing him. It's like a Danganronpa execution. You know what I mean?
So true.
Yeah, it's poetic. Yeah,
poetic.
It's
Poetic
exactly what needed to
justice.
happen to him.
My
Larry
overall
starts as a problem and ends as a problem.
my overall feelings about this case is simply like I liked it. It was a pretty good case. Is it my favorite? No, but it's exactly like a middle of the road case, right? Like this is the one that you
Yeah,
play.
like a middle case. Yeah, definitely. Like a second or third case.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that you all play and everybody likes it pretty well. It has nothing to do with the main story. It's just kind of fun.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I think if there was anything, I mean, there's a hole in the room, right? There's the elephant in the room, which is where the fuck is Gumshoe, right?
I told you he's been locked in Edgeworth's car
I
since we last saw him.
I just don't like the idea of like having what is essentially a reunion case and having like mostly
Leaving somebody out.
especially when we go through so much effort to make sure that there are people who are not allowed in. Like Trucy and Athena are not invited to this party. They are objectively turned away at the door every
Which
time
I
they
am
try to come in.
Severely disappointed about because I miss Trucy and I like her and she's still my favorite sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
I
Wait,
love
she's your-
Maya. I love
she's your-
Maya
Okay.
more than all the stars in the sky, but I love Trucy too.
Aw. I think that the exclusion of my man, Mr. Shu, is unfair.
Mhm.
And I kind of wished they brought him back. This was a DLC case.
Yep.
Right. I will.
There are
What?
no rules. Why isn't he here?
No rules.
I have to wonder if it's a budgetary thing, right? Because obviously making a new model and a bunch of animations for it has been described in the past as like almost like a budget. They're
No
like,
3D
okay,
Gumshoe, no young Gumshoe. I am
right.
sensing a pattern.
It's like, okay, for this case, you can have 3 new NPCs, right? Or something like that. It's kind of like how they set it out. And each NPC can have X amount of animations. That's what we can afford to spend time on. And so I imagine that when it came down to it, the discussion was probably, well, is it going to be Larry or is it going to be Gumshoe? And
they chose wrong.
And they chose Larry, right? Because, again, this is the Mr. Famous case. This is the second one that he wrote after the Soba case.
Mhm.
Mr. Famous deleted Gumshoe?
Well, and here's the thing. Who knows whether it was his decision or not, right? He might have advocated for having Gumshoe back and was turned down by the producers, right?
He didn't try hard enough.
If I ever met Mr. Famous, God willing that I get to meet Mr. Famous one day, I will ask him. I will ask him personally.
Manifesting this for you.
Manifesting.
And he says that he chose to not include Gumshoe.
We'll tell him he's wrong.
He just said he wants to meet him.
He's gonna
It's on site.
He's about to be Mr. Infamous.
I like to thank Mr. Famous. Both of the cases he wrote were very nice.
Yeah, no, they're great. Thank you, Mr. Famous.
Oh.
Literally 1 second before we do anything else, I noticed that I left my AC on, and it's blasting.
The horrors of podcasting.
My headset is off, and I'm going to edit my AC. If I edit, I mean turn it off.
He's going so far away.
I'm gonna hit the edit button on my AC.
Real life editing. Okay, this is real life.
Yeah.
Nothing can. This is my human condition. Okay.
Xbox record that.
This is real. All right, my headset's on.
No, it's an air conditioning thing.
So,
damn.
what I was going to say about Mr. Famous is that I find it interesting that in both of his cases, there is a commonality between the two of them. Aside from like the fact that we've both described them as like middle cases, right? Middle of the
Dude with
game
memory
style
loss.
cases.
Cleansers.
Is it
But
mental
yes,
disorder?
Mental disorders in both of them now. First with DID, and now with daily memory loss disorder.
I
You
mean,
know,
that's probably like it's a brain injury. Like
it's
that's a physical thing that's happening.
That
right,
is
it's an
traumatic
injury.
brain injury, or
yes,
TBI.
that happened happened to him, but it's still like a thing where your brain is essentially something that you have to manage, right? That you have to live with for the rest of your life now. You know, Soren has to live with this memory issue. It is not magically fixed at the end.
I was
Same
so
thing.
afraid. I was so
Right.
afraid they were gonna be like, and now he's better.
Right. And both times they actually do the rug pull in which they make you think for half a second that they're going to do with the cliche, which is like, oh no, person with this, scary person with a mental illness or a mental disorder or something like that. And they're the killer. And then they go, nope, actually they're completely fine. And their, disorder does not have anything to do with, the case. Right. So I kind of like, that's kind of nice, right? to not
Reverse
go,
cliche.
yeah, kind of like do a little bit of a 180 on that. But
Could've been
it is
so much
interesting. I don't know
worse.
if he just likes that kind of cliche for storytelling, or if I just genuinely don't know. But I just found that interesting that came up both times in the cases he wrote.
Mr. Famous, I've played Mega Man Battle Network 1 through 6. So I've seen a lot of his scenario writing, and I
Sure.
can tell you for sure, there are so many times when the main character just gets a brain injury and forgets something. This kid gets knocked out, this like fucking 5th grader gets knocked out constantly and loses memory.
Mr. Famous is actually an advocate for head protection.
Yeah, that's so bad for you.
So the funniest part is
Don't
that
leave your house without your Mr. Famous
at the
helmet.
beginning of every like Mega Man Battle Network game, this is just like a joke in between the Battle Network series, is that like every time the main character forgets how to net battle, which is literally his whole thing, and people are just like, yeah, it's been a couple weeks, he just forgot everything, man. I mean, shit was hard. And this is like after he took down like the Net Mafia, and then the next couple weeks he's like, gee willikers, I lost all my cards and I fucking forgot how to net battle. Oh man. And everyone just goes like,
Someone
dude,
threw them off the edge of a cruise ship.
people
They keep hitting him with the fire extinguisher.
Going a little bit deeper into the Battle Network segment, I promise this is over. Some people say that the fan theory is that like what he does is he donates them to this local school kid so that like fucking everyone can net battle. I'm like, oh, that's a very nice thing to do. I don't think he would do that. He's a 5th grader. 5th graders are selfish little
he
bastards.
wouldn't fucking do that.
No, this is the same kid who like had an argument with his family once because he was like, I want to go buy something, and they said no, and they go, well, screw you then, and then ran away with all his fucking roller skates. 5th graders are, I mean, they could be nice.
He
but...
ran away on his roller skates? Did he at least skate away?
Yeah, he skated. I mean, you can run with the run button.
Hell yeah.
That's how I run.
That's how I run.
Me too.
Yeah. Was this before or after X and Y? Because you can do both of those too.
Oh, that's crazy. Anyway, going back to this case, yeah, no, this guy's a huge advocate for mental disorders. He actually brought it back for fucking Star Force 2. Another person had like a split personality, and I'm like, dude, come on. You can't be bringing the same thing to class every week.
I don't know.
What do you mean?
On the one hand, I guess you can't be bringing the same thing to show and tell every week. On the other hand, I love the like cringe ass middle school kid bullshit.
Cringe ass middle
Like
school
hell
kid.
yeah.
I think so. So I actually did not see Soren's brain disorder coming in at all. Did y'all see that coming?
Yeah.
You saw it coming. How'd you see it coming?
I don't know. I just knew with him constantly having his nose in the book like that, I was like, there's no way when he asked her, I think when he first asked her where his thing was.
Yeah.
Like when he asked her where an item was and she told him exactly where it was, I was like, oh, he probably has a memory issue.
I thought that Wait, so that implies that Ellen knew that he has a memory issue.
I know. Part of me is like, I
seems
knew
like
that
she
could have been
does.
read as, oh, I don't do any thinking for myself, and my maid wife keeps track of everything for me.
My trad wife, yeah.
Yeah. Versus the other half of my brain that was like, oh, he must have some kind of.
I feel like that's a little mean to Ellen to call her
Yeah.
a trad wife.
It's not like, listen, you can be a trad wife, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a trad wife.
You know what? I think the term trad wife is too tainted in badness at this point, and we're all gonna
certain
have to come
people
up
have
with something
tainted it a
else.
little too much now, unfortunately, I think.
It's an
But-
The
aesthetic.
concept.
It's an aesthetic.
I wish it was just an aesthetic.
Yeah,
and it hadn't become a whole ideology by now.
This is one of those things where we periodically have to like lift back the curtain for Tiago and explain some like horrible, insidious right-wing culture war bullshit that you've been like shielded from.
I only know the funny parts.
Yeah.
He
Please
just
keep it
chooses
that
not
way.
to acknowledge the right wing part of it because fuck those guys.
Why is it white? You know what? We can discuss this.
This is a
off.
different. We're
Yeah,
straying
that's-
into different podcast
That's a
territory
different
again.
podcast. I'm about to literally learn about why trad wife is yada yada
Yeah.
whatever. The
Yeah.
point being,
That'll be me and Ben's leftist podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we are a left. I mean, you might as well just go do it now then, if that's the case.
I mean, we're a leftist ace attorney podcast. Let's be perfectly clear. But
Okay, so my maid wife then.
Sure.
I think I could not have seen this twist coming, because when he got super obsessive over the book, I thought that it was just like, yo, bro just lost his book. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Homie just like didn't know where to put it, and he doesn't like it when he loses things. You know?
I think
Mhm.
this is one of those ones where like the shape of the case, like the final shape of the case, becomes extremely obvious in like the first 10 minutes of the second half, where like they drop a
Right.
bunch of stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, Pierce is the missing fiance surgeon. He's the killer, which I think kind of had vibes for.
Yeah, we all knew he was the killer.
Soren has a memory disorder, and he's keeping track of everything in his notebook.
That's new. That was I
I felt like that one made sense. Once you look inside the notebook, and you see, oh, here's the
Right.
date where there's a horrible car accident, and then after which he keeps detailed, meticulous notes to the point of insanity about everything that's happened every single day since. Kinda, you know.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
It tracks. It
It
tracks.
tracks.
Yeah. It checks out.
When I
Mhm.
saw that he had notes detailing the moment of every second of his life in his book, I just thought that he had become like incredibly compulsive. So like my original theory was that like he must have been in some way responsible for the car accident, and he was. And
Yeah,
his,
you were right about that one.
and his methods of atoning for that per se was like to never lose track of the day or whatever. I thought about it in really esoteric terms, like it was supposed to
Sure.
be fucking I don't know, poetic or some shit. But then it turns out this motherfucker just can't remember shit. This guy's fucking that blonde lady from 51st Dates, which is strange. It's strange that it's 51st Dates. Because that makes the wife Adam Sandler in the scenario.
Well, it does help that it is later
51st
revealed
Dates,
that they were
gender
already
swap
in love
AU.
They
before he lost his memories.
thank God that
Right.
they were in love before he lost his memories.
That helps so much.
Because otherwise, the ending of let's be clear. Has everyone here seen 51st Dates?
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it all the way through,
Okay.
but I've like seen.
Anytime I hear that, wouldn't it be nice
if we
I think
were
of that song.
older. I mean,
I
fair,
always
that's-
think of 51st Dates, despite not caring for that movie, not remembering much about that movie. That's just like the anchor point in my brain for that song.
Hey, spoiler for literally a 20-year-old movie. We gotta talk about this. Because it does,
Sure.
I do have to think about this. So, at the end of the movie in 51st Dates, they what happens is that, like, they are married and Drew Barrymore is waking up on a boat pregnant and has a little, like, VHS tape being like, watch me. And then it's just a VHS tape that explains everything. That explains that, like, all right, so here's what happened. You got married, you're in love, you're about to have a kid. Your husband is a marine biologist and he's studying shit in fucking in Antarctica. Now, if I were to receive that perspective after being in a car accident, I would panic in sheer horror, right? Like, it is a scary
Yeah.
experience. So Soren, every day, thinking that he just woke up from a car accident, is not married to his maid, and also how does he remember Pierce every day? That's the most interesting part, because, like, Pierce was post the accident. Pierce was the surgeon who tried to save the sister.
Maybe there's some beauty in that, because maybe he doesn't have to.
True. Facts. Okay, now we're thinking about the positives. I'm just thinking about the fact that, like, you wake up, your sister's fiance is now your butler, you're married to your maid, and you got a really long book to read, because holy shit, dude, every day, man.
It gets longer every day. Yeah.
It gets longer.
No wonder he's so fucking weird.
Also, the fact that he tears out pages to use them to write notes is low-key insane, right? Because, like,
You're gonna run out of pages eventually.
that book has to run out. It ain't the Death Note, fella. It's not gonna regenerate. Soren's whole situation
He's
does...
gonna have to get a new book eventually.
Soren's whole situation does give me some sort of fear.
I mean, it's an interesting thought. Like, I used to work in a neurology office. It makes you think of, like, the having to read over a book every single day about your life, about everything that happened. Like, what kind of neural pathways is that creating? Like, how is that going to affect, like, are you eventually going to start remembering the stuff that you read?
I hope so. Jeez, otherwise this is gonna take forever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That'd be interesting. I'd be interested to know if have been, like, studies and things done on that for people who have that kind of memory problem.
We have
What I'm hearing is
it has been
we put this anime boy in a CAT scan.
yeah. Yeah, it's been a couple months, right? The accident was in March, and this case takes place in September.
Yeah.
So he's got
6 months.
6 months worth of notes in that book, theoretically.
6 months.
Which is,
Theoretically.
in the grand scheme of things, not that long, considering he has the rest of his life ahead of him.
And again, if you take the 51st Dates analogy again, maybe eventually he can start to figure out something that will help be forming new neural pathways and, some limerick or song or whatever that would be letting him make new memories and keep stuff permanent.
nice
If I
if-
could start remembering stuff.
It would be pretty nice if I could start remembering stuff.
Could not be me.
You want to forget?
No, I already can't remember things.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You've met me.
Yeah, I know. It's just, much to think about with this case, because the implied neurological effects of Soren Sprocket, or whatever this fucking steampunk loser looks like, is strange to me. I thought for a split fucking second that Soren Sprocket was dead and it was Serena pretending to be her brother.
You thought we were going to do
Oh
another...
my god, that would have made me
person.
so happy.
Yeah.
I would love
She
that
actually loved the
Shakespeare
maid,
ass
not the-
twist.
Yeah, that'd be a dumbass quiz. So we have to, like, debate our witness at the beginning of the case. Oh, we did investigate a bunch of stuff, huh? We investigated.
I was about to ask, like, if you, like, what you all thought of the investigation phase, because it's kind of mostly just badgering. You go and you deal with the elevator, right, inside the
Mm-hmm.
inside the airship,
Mhm.
and I thought some of the stuff with Maya was kind of fun, with her like moving the elevator without Phoenix on it, right, to discover the blood stain.
Mm-hmm.
Like she immediately throws the lever, but Phoenix is like, "Wait for me to get on," and she's like,
Nope.
Just
It's my time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That it's not nothing like mind blowing, right? But it's just good old fashioned Maya hijinks.
I think that there is. I feel like the investigation phase was just like the investigation. Excuse me, holy shit. Keeps this in. I gotta wake up.
Coffee. More coffee.
The investigation phase reminded me of exactly what an investigation phase would be in a Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game. We walk around, we talk to some people, we gotta go back to some other locations. At a certain point, I was like, alright, this does kind of seem like busy work. Who else do we have to talk to? Because Jesus Christ.
This is one of the most Ace Attorney cases of all time.
This is, I think, one of the most Ace Attorney cases of all time. We had...
How fitting.
We
in a way that you get the embodiment of all things Ace Attorney just like condensed in this final case, the last thing in the timeline.
It's a shot, right? Like it's a other of the games that are like long drinks, and this is like straight up just a shot of like fucking Ace Attorney.
A shot of Ace Attorney with high alcohol content.
Larry, of course, proves to be not useful. We finally get to pull up the pterodactyl thing in court, but that's later.
I know, it takes so long for that to finally come around.
Like, because at a certain point, we all just ignored him with the fact that, like, you didn't see a pterodactyl, Larry. And he goes, I did. And we go, no, you didn't. Come on.
Anyway.
There's a couple gags where Athena runs into you and goes, hey, boss, can I do law? And your boss goes, no, you're actually imprisoned by my adopted daughter to do magic, so I'll catch you later. And you just leave.
Yeah, any time Athena asks for help, Phoenix is just like, you're on your own. You're fucked. Trucy's gonna fucking get you, Athena.
This seems bad.
He never offers her no help or advice. Aside from, you might as well do what she asks you, Athena.
The funniest
You're
part...
only prolonging the inevitable.
The line that got me was the fact that he went, Trucy's our biggest moneymaker, so you have to do it, Athena, for the sake of the office.
That was the only thing that justifies it a little bit, because I was like, oh fuck, that's actually hilarious. Like, this is why Apollo's been doing it the whole time.
Yeah, like Apollo's
he's the one doing payroll, as we've previously established.
He's been balancing the books, and he straight up went, these are just Trucy's books. Do we get paid? Have we ever been paid for law? And then Phoenix Wright comes in from around the corner going, no. And if we do, it's in weird payments like food or some shit.
Well, food is good.
Food is great. Doesn't pay rent. Unless you're a chef. Then it does. Gotta add that stipulation.
I'm hungry now.
Okay, well, we're moving on from food then, because this isn't the food case. This is the wedding time travel case.
There is a cake, but it's like a fake cake, and Maya and I were both disappointed.
It's true.
I got to put in some of my cake knowledge.
Sad. Yep.
My mother is a pastry artist, and she is the manager at a bakery. Most wedding cakes are made of styrofoam.
Cakes are that's bullshit. Cake should all be real.
Okay, anyway, cakes are mostly styrofoam for display purposes, because most of the time they're sitting out for a really long time under really hot lights.
Okay.
And they will generally get fucked up. Not all of them, obviously. Some people can get, regular cakes and stuff like that. So usually the wedding display cakes are all styrofoam, and there are big sheet cakes in the back that they cut up for serving. But usually the top tier of the cake, or a separate cake on the side, is the one that the bride and the groom cut.
So they can cut it and get a photo.
Yeah.
Yep.
And my cousin had a wedding, and she had a lot of cupcakes. And I thought that
cupcakes are very
was
popular
nice.
too. Yeah, cupcakes are really popular too because they're very inexpensive.
Yeah, it was nice.
Good way to get a lot of cake for a lot of people.
Just rolling out the big old trays of cupcakes. That went over real well.
I think the wedding industry is bullshit if the cakes aren't real, man. What the fuck? I want a huge ass cake.
Tiago,
Like
the wedding industry is. I've been to so many of these
you're
fucking
correct.
cookie
You're
cutter
correct.
ass Midwestern Irish Catholic weddings. Sorry, everybody. My family will never listen to this podcast.
Cakes are fucking expensive because they're works of art.
Yeah, I've seen all those YouTube videos where they make shit out of cake.
So not only are you paying for the art of it, so you're getting this huge cake that costs a fraction of the price when most of it's styrofoam, but you're paying for the decorating and all of that, and the things that they actually use. If you get a huge tiered cake like that, if you're like 3+ tiers, right, and you're getting it with all these decorations and stuff on it, thousands of dollars.
I think it'd be sick to have an ice cream cake as a big wedding cake, like a Carvel ice cream cake.
It like melts by the time.
Ben, real quick,
yeah.
Ben, real quick, you take care of that
No,
bread.
keep it in the freezer. Get a big freezer. You just keep it in the walk-in, and then you take it all out right at the last second.
So do you think they didn't have a real wedding cake? You're telling me the fucking Boeing Airlines couldn't have a real fucking cake? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm at this fucking wedding and I look over and I see the super ultra rich people who are so rich they can have their own steampunk blimp for the wedding, and then they go, "Oh yeah, cake, plastic."
Mega rich, so rich that they pulled the cake boss out of prison again to make a cake.
Yeah, what the fuck? Give me a real cake. Maya, I get it. I think this place is fucked up.
I think Maya and I would have such a good time watching Great British Bake Off together.
Oh my god.
Ellen is like, Soren, we should get this kind of cake. And Soren's like, why should we get the cake? I'm going to forget it tomorrow.
That's why they didn't get
Oh,
the real
that's so
cake.
sad.
That's actually...
Go feed this man some cupcakes.
Soren, we gotta why doesn't he have enough money to solve this? I feel like it's like...
Well, they're really, really
brain
hard to
surgery's
fix.
hard.
I
brain
don't know
surgery
if
is
that's
really
been
hard.
figured out yet.
Sometimes all the money will not tell you simply how to fix.
Yeah, alright. Fair enough. I just think that,
I guess this will be my final reminder in current Ace Attorney time to make sure if you have a head injury that you go to the doctors.
Yeah! If somebody hits you in the head with a fire extinguisher.
Someone hits you in the head
No
with a
matter
fire...
how minor, if you hit your head and it hurts enough that you're like, go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Des, how would I know how much it hurts enough to go to the hospital? What's the pain threshold you would say? Like a 5 out of 10?
If you just lean up and you bump your head very slightly and you're just kind of like, dang, I can't believe I bumped my head coming up. But if you bump your head hard enough that you start to feel like you're going to get a headache, go to the doctor.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. I did need to know because I am the type of person who would just lightly bump my head and be like, I'm going to die now. This is it. The big one. So Soren, he did that after the accident, probably, right? I mean, no, he was brought into the emergency room where someone...
He didn't have a choice. He went right to the emergency room.
He went right to the emergency room. So Pierce Nickety, which is a surgeon, was a surgeon.
Yes.
He had the option between saving his fiancée or his fiancée's younger brother who caused the accident.
And she begged him.
She begged him
to save her brother instead.
Even though her wounds was worse.
Her wounds was worse.
Now, I'm a surgeon. I know what to do in this scenario. Why would I listen to
You get a
her?
second surgeon.
Yeah, I was gonna say we are in a whole ass fucking hospital, hopefully.
No, there's only one surgeon in this hospital because apparently there was only one surgeon available.
They're
You
so
gotta
rich.
remember.
They have a private steampunk blimp for wedding. They can afford a hospital with 2 surgeons.
They went to Hottie Clinic.
Yeah.
No!
That's right. The only other person in there was Hottie, and they're
The
like,
only
I'm not letting
hospital
in
in
near
all of
anybody else.
Japanifornia.
I'd rather let her
I mean-
die than let that surgeon do surgery on her.
Yeah, you know what? Fair
I mean,
enough. I would rather die also.
You got to remember, right? Ace Attorney, operates on melodrama logic, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even mean that obviously
It's
again
still,
in
it's
the
yes.
bad way. I mean melodrama just in the literal sense,
yeah.
in that the internal emotions of people are externalized all the time. You know,
It's just fun to point out that stuff.
oh yeah, no, I'm not saying you're wrong for that. I'm just saying, like, of course everything has to be heightened to the extremities for every backstory, right? Of course there's only one surgeon. You
Of
know,
course there's one.
oh, he could only pick one person to save, and she begs him to save her brother instead, and he honors that, you know, choice. Disregard triage or anything like that, right? He's like, okay, I'll save Soren.
I think so she passes away. She's dead.
Yes.
She's gonna be put 6 feet under the next day. I'm persnickety. I go to the brother. I'm furious at the fact that this man has caused an accident and that the family is going to pin it on Dumas Gloomsbury in order to save face. I want to strangle Soren Sprocket. Soren wakes up and does remember the previous day, because this is day 1.
Yeah.
Persnickety doesn't do it, but it's on day 2 where he realizes, oh, this man has friggin' amnesia, but like permanently. The first few early days of Soren Sprocket's amnesia must have been the most confusing, right? Because like if I hang out with a dude long enough, I'm like, hey man, what's going on? And then all of a sudden they're being like, yo, I don't remember, what are you talking, like, just finding out that their timeline isn't the right one. That would get me. So, like, I wonder how persnickety felt. I hate him. I hate his name.
It seems like he felt bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He left
bad
his
is my
job,
guess.
and he then decided to become the family's butler for the sole purpose of exacting his revenge.
Yeah, he did become the family butler for the sole purpose of exacting his revenge.
He became the family Joker.
But, like, it wouldn't have even been worth it, because this guy has amnesia. Like, I feel...
You wouldn't remember that you killed his wife.
Yeah.
You wouldn't remember.
I...
You'd just be like, oh, where's Ellen? I guess she's off work today.
Wait, that's actually a huge-ass fair point. This motherfucker
which
wouldn't
sucks,
remember that you killed his wife.
Horrible. But, like, he wouldn't remember.
Persnickety...
That would suck to wake up every day and be like, where's my sister? Oh, she's dead.
My wife is also dead.
Every fucking day.
And now my wife, my maid turned wife is now dead. Because I had to remember that I married her. I swear to God, dude. That's such an interesting point. Pierce's plan was stupid from the beginning. This guy...
I mean, murdering criminals, like, are inherently not functioning at their best.
True.
Like, if this guy was smart, he would simply not be doing this.
If he was smart, he would at least...
Objectively smart, because he's a surgeon.
Yeah, but like...
I think
But money makes you stupid.
So, I'm trying to think about this. Pierce thinks to himself, I'm going to kill the fiance of an amnesiac to exact my revenge on the amnesiac, a guy who's going to forget the revenge. I will use Dumas Gloomsbury, a subordinate who is mad at Sprocket Airlines for blaming the accident on him, even though he accepted that role. Because, like, I remember Dumas was like, yeah, Dumas accepted the fucking thing, right? Like, Dumas accepted the fact that they were going to be pinning the blame on him. Because they gave him a promotion. And then later he was like, man, this sucks. I shouldn't have done that. I'm mad at the Sprockets. And it's like, bro, you chose this.
You made the sandwich.
Mike Bloomsbury and Christ, you made the sandwich. It's so, like, little annoying that he's all of a sudden now he doesn't want to take the fucking gag order anymore. Ooh. And this is me role-playing as a Boeing executive.
You have to beep out that.
We all know what happens if you fucking break your Boeing gag order.
Hey, actually, Ben, can you bleep that out so they don't kill me?
I was gonna say
They're not coming for us.
The one we don't bleep out are the ones that we're dissing, right?
Oh yeah.
Fuck
Don't
Boeing.
bleep this out. Fuck
Right?
Boeing.
That one's easy. That one you can leave in. It's only if you're praising a brand, then because they're not paying us. Then
Yeah, they don't
that's one we
deserve it.
bleep out.
Yeah.
True. It's gonna be.
I'm never gonna accept an ad deal from Boeing, so we're safe.
I would like
Fuck
to
'em.
see them try to convince us to take an ad deal.
It would be so funny if they rolled up with like, okay, here, we'll pay you like $10,000 for a podcast ad, because we just want it so
Okay, now
bad,
hold on
baby.
now. Like,
And
hold
then
on.
we take it, and then we're in here like, so Boeing, #1 in killing whistleblowers.
Boeing, all of us start taking really extravagant flights out of nowhere.
I love how we've created an
Carbon
alternate
footprint is-
universe where
Carbon footprint
brands
is
are...
out of this fucking out of this world.
Yep. Oh man, if only. So
Anyway,
that was it. That was the whole bit. That was the whole Boeing bit. Okay.
yep.
All right. So after we're done with Pierce and kind of interrogating him, we break his psyche locks, all that stuff to get all these details, right? The last thing that you do in the investigation phase is you go back up and you find that Emma has put together the Pegable and she has accidentally swapped the handles on the door, is what you and Phoenix and Maya realize, right? And the handle on the outside has blood on it because it appears Dumas was not dead at the time. So his bloody hands were struggling to open the door of this Pegable so he could get out.
So
And that's important for later.
it's important to realize that because
Chekhov's Pegable doorknob.
Larry brought the Pegable up, which means in a way he's kind of an accomplice.
Larry's
He was an
such an
unknowing
accomplice.
accomplice.
He's an
As
accomplice of a
always.
man.
So is that enough to convict him?
Apparently not.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, not in this
Well,
world, I guess.
we have pretty irrefutable evidence, i.e. just talking to Larry for a couple of minutes, that he had no idea what he was doing, so...
Yeah, he didn't know the body was in there, so.
Yeah, I know. I just think it'd be funny if we could accuse him.
Just for old time's sake.
Just for old time's sake. We go
But you go to court.
We go to court. We only deal with the testimony of two people, Sprocket and then Pierce Snickety. It's 2 segments. One segment for very funny Sprocket, and then the second segment for very evil Pierce. Soren is unhelpful, and he lies, and he doesn't know what happened, because when he oh my god, we had his book for a little bit. We had his notebook.
Yeah, we saw the Rorschach blood blot.
Yeah, Maya and Phoenix drop it in Soren's blood during the investigation segment when he collapses from blood
They
loss.
really did just... They could have just been like, oh, the blood got on it when he fell.
What's incredible is the fact that,
You could have covered
like,
it up, guys.
it gave you the option. Would you like to look inside the book? And I immediately was like, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save my client. Did you guys say no?
No,
No, I said yes. I want it in.
Okay, great.
I think we all said yes.
I wonder what would have happened if, like, we said no. Would it
It
just
probably... Maya's looks at it anyways.
true? I can't control
Like how
her.
I tried to
can-
say no to helping Dirk.
I'll check the transcript while you keep talking, but I believe
they
think
drop it and their eyes come out and look at it like that one SpongeBob episode when they open the map.
Yep, 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm already there.
And it's what happens.
We absolutely fucking soak a couple pages in blood. It is cartoonish how much blood got on that page.
Okay, if you choose don't look, what happens is Phoenix says, I really don't think we should. Maya says, but it might have some really, really, really important information in it. Phoenix goes, well, that's quite possible, but still, I guess it's for Ellen's sake at the end of the day. And then it goes right back into the same line then.
Yeah,
as
that makes
predicted.
sense.
So it just pushes you into it anyway.
That makes sense to me, Capitan.
You telling me the illusion of choice? No, I'm just kidding.
You're telling
Sometimes
In
you get
Maya's
extra funny
attorney
dialogue.
game?
you telling me a Detroit became this human? Sorry, actually,
Oh,
you know what? Bleep out
no.
that joke. I'm actually straight up not proud of that one.
This game
I want you to
It has better
bleep out
writing.
David Cage.
I can't keep doing this many edits.
I
can't keep doing
know.
many
Tiago and I are
bleeps.
bad with power.
All right, Ben, bleep that out.
Sorry.
We're like, bleep this out, bleep that out. Ben, do this. Ben, do that.
Xbox, bleep this out.
All right, so Soren. Here's my thing: is that Soren had to keep the fact that he had amnesia away from the public eye in order to make sure the Sprocket Airline dynasty looked strong. But you gotta think about the amount of people who did know that Soren had amnesia, including his maid wife, who chose to marry.
I argue she should know, right? Like, if you're marrying somebody,
she should know. She should know, right?
Yeah.
She must know whether or not Soren wants to tell her, because she's the maid and she can observe it happening.
Yeah, if
she'll eventually find out, and probably sooner rather than later.
If she didn't realize yet, she's gonna know really soon.
Yeah, because
I mean, obviously she knows by the end of this case, but I feel like she has to have had some inkling that something was going on here.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the most sense.
I don't think it's ever said explicitly.
She thought time travel was real.
Well, I mean,
no po buddies
doesn't
nerfed.
have a very good track record.
She got gaslit, bro. That's on her. She got tricked by a literal rich conspiracy. That's like some shit from.
They spent a bunch of money just to convince her that time travel was real.
What was that movie where
and it worked.
I'm trying to think of a movie. Oh, I'm thinking of The Game with Michael Douglas. Do you know The Game?
Oh, no.
I mean, I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Can't say I do.
The point of the game in which that it's a really successful businessman who gets signed up for a mysterious game by his brother as a haha happy birthday, and it's just game where
is that the one where the guy gets in the ARG that's scary?
It's not an ARG. Well,
it's not an ARG.
I mean, ARGs, do they exist in 1997? Because if so, I guess I would have called it an ARG. But the point being is that it's a conspiracy, right? A bunch of fucking incredibly outlandishly paid events are occurring to this man to purposely fuck him up and make him stressed out and shit, right? And that's exactly what happened to my friend Ellen Wyatt. I'm sorry, Ellen Sprocket. Right. She's married now. She got fucking bamboozled by rich people in multiple ways. Pierce?
That's our whole damn country.
Yeah. It sure is, friend. It sure is. Oh my god, this fucking case. How do we all feel about Pierce being a surgeon?
I guess.
You want to get to the point where Pierce is on the stand?
I mean, what is there to say about Soren, right? This guy has amnesia. He barely knows what fucking happened.
The discussion in the middle here, while Soren's around, is also about the whole power of love bit that we get.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of funny Miles
there's some fun
getting
dialogue here.
Bits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Miles is this is the power of love.
The judge finally takes our side.
Yeah.
Yeah, the judge takes our side because he's actually, I agree with Mr. Wright. The power of love can let you do incredible things. And Miles is this is not a legitimate argument. And Phoenix is well, the judge agrees with me, so neener.
And the judge is don't worry, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, you'll understand when you're married. And Miles is I'm not fucking getting married.
Yeah.
Not today.
We also, in this case, we of course get the much shared, much memed upon line in which Miles Edgeworth says, Phoenix Wright only makes that kind of face when his back is pressed up against the wall.
Ha ha.
Oh.
And, yeah.
Weirdly enough,
I was so distracted by them arguing about whether they were going to get married or not.
Yeah. I told you, there's just a lot of straight up fan bait right in this case for this kind of stuff. They know what they're doing here. They're yep, we're gonna throw you some red meat.
I honestly, my mind was out of the gutter. I didn't even grok that. It's kind of interesting.
I was just haha, they're having a fight about if they're gonna propose or not.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. They argue like a fickle married couple. They really do.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I think I don't know. I guess I don't feel that strongly about Soren, except for the fact that, like, we propose a theory that in order to get to the Vista deck, he had to have, like, opened up the fucking side door and ran there. And that's how... So, Ellen said that when she was being attacked by Dumas, that a third person came up and hit him on the head, and she fainted before she saw the third person. We all debated on whether or not it could have been Soren, because if he took both elevators, it wouldn't have been enough time. And the only solution would have been that he opened up the fucking emergency door and crawled on the outside of the fucking blimp. Which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
But, like, I gotta respect the game.
You mentioned that, and he starts clicking his mechanical pencil till all the lead falls out of it, and I could not relate more. If I'm honest.
We also get a one-time unique animation in which he stabs his finger onto the pencil as well.
I've definitely done that also.
He only did that once.
Yeah, they use that animation literally one time.
It's kind of incredible. I don't know. I have nothing.
We sort all that out, right? It's that Soren can't really corroborate it one way or the other, because guess what? He doesn't remember. You know? So that's why we have to drag Pierce onto the stand, because, like, well, Pierce, no offense, but you remember things. So we're gonna get you up on the stand and testify about this stuff.
Get your ass up here.
But yeah, right before we bring Pierce up on stage is also when we get to do the pterodactyl sign. And this is, you know, when we get to finally
get to call out the stupidest fucking piece of
this stupid ass sign, and just be like, okay, the ship wasn't in the air. It was parked, right? It was just parked, and what Larry saw was a stationary sign. It was just right outside the front of the window, and he thought that pterodactyl was just kind of hanging out.
That was someone who was...
If I saw a pterodactyl, I'd probably shit myself, not draw it.
Yeah, but Larry's different, you know what I mean?
Sorry, Larry, I didn't realize your smoke was so strong.
Dude, his weed game too fat, you know what I mean?
I mean, not bad.
His fucking picture book game, crazy.
He's not bad. Wonder. Yeah, he's not bad.
I can't believe that Miles is so mean about his art. It's, like, pretty decent.
That's what I said.
Right?
Yeah, I've got a lot of things to say about Larry, but his draftsmanship skills, really not bad. Quite good even, perhaps.
Yeah,
it's really just his storytelling that he needs to work on.
Yeah, the actual image, like, he's doing pretty good, honestly. He whipped that up
My
nice
man
and
Larry
fast.
is a lot of things, but he is not a bad artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we drag Pierce then up on the stand, and pretty much, you know, I'd say like 5 minutes into him being on the stand then is when we get his transition and animation switch into evil surgeon Pierce, right?
He pulls out his cleaning hanky and turns it into a mask.
I think that...
Yeah, it's fun.
The thing about Pierce's surgeon switch is that I don't think it's as interesting as, like, finding out, I don't know, that Bobby Fulbright was a spy. Because
what can live up to that?
Yeah, we've already talked about how we could never fucking do that again.
It's just that, like, because the Bobby Fulbright thing recontextualizes everything, where, like, we find out that this dude is a surgeon, and he just, like, his monocle becomes, like, a surgery monocle, and he puts his mask on, and then he, like, his bracelets come off like weights, and it turns out to be, like, surgical gloves. And then he treats the robot on his shoulder as if it's, like, a patient. I think that it's a perfectly fine twist. It just didn't excite me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, we did see it coming like a million miles away.
Yeah.
He was the only other NPC in the whole case that, you know, could even potentially be the murderer. So you kind of know it's happening. You're just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah. I wonder what would have happened if he had just, like, a different outfit on, because he just doesn't read... I mean, it's... Honestly, the fucking problem in this case is that it's steampunk as hell, and therefore everyone's aesthetic is fucked up. It's strange and
Everyone
not
got too many
you're saying-
doodads on him.
too many
You're saying
doodads.
it's too much of a stretch to make him
I
go from
wish-
butler mode to doctor mode.
Because I'm the steampunk, like, supporter here. The thing is, you gotta get weirder. I need it to be bigger and weirder and sillier.
And if we go too weird, then you're kind of losing the Ace Attorney aesthetic then at that point.
I guess you're right, yeah, but, like, if you want me to enjoy a steampunk design, you gotta do something.
Like
There's
what?
a lot you can do. That's why I like steampunk, but...
I just remembered a like fucking Instagram reel I saw the other day. I think it is a TikTok, and it is pervasive in my mind now that we brought up steampunk, and I'm not going to explain what it is because I don't want to.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing it up.
On the podcast, everybody go
Hi,
find
I'm
the
Tick, and I'm
TikTok
Talk
that
like a
Tiago's
clock.
thinking
Holy
of.
shit, Ben! How'd you know? How'd you...
Because that's the one. That's the one that goes around every 3 to 6 months.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's two girls are doing a bit. It's intentional. It's fine. It's fun. You know.
I know.
whatever.
I just didn't want.
They were intentionally trying to create the most cringe video they could.
But what if they
Remember,
weren't? What if
that's-
they were earnest?
Well, I mean that's fine
Again,
too. Listen,
we talked
people,
about this yesterday about people being too irony pilled to know the difference anymore.
That's me.
Yeah, you go look up the blooper video for that. They've actually posted that online. It's actually kind of funny to see them crack up laughing while they're doing it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
I've never watched a TikTok in my life.
that's fine. So you're probably better off for it. So we start to break down Pierce's testimony and prove that he was the one who did this. And, I feel like it's pretty,
Edgeworth calls him a loser and says he's only here for the truth. He's not here to help him.
it's true. Yeah. Right as we start to get close to the end, Edgeworth does the old fashioned,
Yeah, he starts to the
time.
Pierce starts to berate Edgeworth, and Edgeworth's shut your mouth, you filthy animal.
Yeah,
Excuse
he's
me.
like, you think you can buy me? You think you can buy my loyalty? No, I'm here
Look
for
at
the
my
truth.
car. I'm so rich.
Because Pierce is like, we could have swept this under the rug. This could have been just all handled so nicely, and the family would be fine. Now, think about how many dollars of value are going to come off the Sprocket company stock. And all this stuff, right? So he kind of berates Edgeworth a whole bunch, and that kind of signals the turn in which Edgeworth is like, no, shut the fuck up, testify. You can't push me around. I'm the chief prosecutor for LA County.
Testify.
So we also explicitly get the first time that I think I'd have to go back and check the dialogue, but Pierce explicitly calls the judge a district court judge, right?
Yeah.
He tries
Again,
to bully
it's
the judge, and the judge is like, no, that will not stand in my courtroom.
Yeah.
You're
So again, one of the weird situations in which we kind of acknowledge the structure of the court system, because it's
Yeah.
always so vague normally. We got to keep it a little vague or wishy-washy for however big the scales are going to be for this case. But nope, explicitly district court judge, that kind of thing.
what if
So it's just funny to see that come up again.
what if Sprocket was purposely calling him that to belittle him? What if he's not a district court judge? And Sprocket and fucking not Sprocket, that Pierce was just like, fuck this dude. You guys are line chefs on the fucking in a shitty saw of justice. This court's a sham. I think he was just mad at him.
He's actually a circuit court judge.
Yeah, exactly.
We're actually up a tier or two, and he's just trying to belittle him.
Exactly. That's what I think. Because we've handled a lot of cases where, I think that the DA should have gotten involved. It's kind of strange.
Edgeworth is right here.
Honestly,
I'm literally on the Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles website right now, looking at judges.
is Phoenix Wright?
I'm not reading any names out loud.
Phoenix Wright. Do you think Phoenix Wright could be a DA?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he could.
He essentially is, because he
He's-
keeps getting
I don't
bamboozled
know if
into
he-
it.
Yeah.
At the
I don't know if
bar.
he wants that responsibility.
True. Facts. You
Uh,
do have to prosecute different cases when you're DA. I know this about
Right.
through legal shows. I've never seen real law.
But yeah, like once this happens, this is it's the sign of downfall for Pierce, and he starts having more animations in which he's more frantic as he's doing his operations on his little robot, in front of him.
He has a testimony where, like, he just doesn't say shit. He actually shuts the fuck up. You finally get
somebody pleading the fifth.
Yeah. He doesn't even plead the fifth. He actually just shuts the fuck up. Like,
he doesn't actually say he's doing it, yeah.
He straight up says, I'll answer any questions, but I'm not going to say something at all. Like, so if you have a question, you ask it. So, like, every time on each of his sentences we press, and we have the option to ask 3 questions. And since there are 3 segments to his testimony, there's one for each question. And that's how we catch him, you know? We catch him on his stupid bullshit. This silly...
Which is kind of fun. I kind of like that. It's a little volumes. Bit of... Yeah, it's a little bit of a unique take on this. Especially, it kind of makes sense for his character as somebody who is rich enough and supposedly clever enough to know to shut the fuck up. But I guess he still answers the questions anyway, which is then his downfall.
Not very smart for a surgeon.
No.
So yeah, then he has his breakdown animation, which is like basically him failing a surgery.
Yeah,
you have the flat lines, while he's operating, and he's has like stuff pulled up, behind him, the curtains pulled behind him, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's fun.
I did like the off stage hand of someone handing him like scalpel and forceps.
Yeah,
that was pretty sick. I like it when the breakdown is nonsensical in a way that like is funny. Because I remember the magician breakdown, he had like a whole fucking like stage production, like he was on TV or some shit.
Yeah.
And then this guy's like, he's in a surgery room, he's not able to handle it. I think that shit's fun. We get Pierce on the fact that he was the only time that the murder was able to happen was during the wedding, because the 2 hits on Dumas's head were not consecutive, and we know that someone who was bloody on the inside of the Pega Bowl had to have opened the door from the inside, and the only person that could have been is Dumas. So while the lovely couple was walking down the aisle in dry ice fog for some reason, insane addition. I thought to myself,
to cover up the murder.
I thought to myself, like, that's an insane addition to have in any wedding, is dry ice while they're walking down the aisle. People don't do that. Why would they do that? Oh, it's a conceit for this guy to murder a guy. Got it. Understood. And that's exactly what happened.
It's safer than, like, throwing rice and shit.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, what, are you hurt by rice?
I have a fear of...
Get it in your eye?
Yeah, of a grain of rice landing in my ear and making me deaf in one ear.
Okay, Rose, we'll talk. I have a lot of questions.
We can unpack that later.
Yeah, we gotta unpack that later.
We don't have...
Otorhinolaryngologists.
I'm sorry, did I just get too real on the podcast?
No, it's just fun. It's just such a highly specific
It's very
fear.
specific, isn't it?
I've never even thought about it before, to be completely honest with you.
I have a fear of slipping in the bathroom and falling, like, breaking my spine on the tub. But I think that's more reasonable. Like... I've never, Rose, you've also never talked this about before in the many years that we've known each other.
I feel like I have to provide context for those of you who do not know. That is a thing that happened to Juliet Gordon Lowe, the founder of the Girl Scouts of America, at her wedding.
Okay.
And
I did not know that. I'm learning something new.
Yeah, and listeners who are familiar with the greater Boston area will know that her original estate is now a Girl Scout camp, and if you were a Girl Scout perhaps in that area, you might have been going to that Girl Scout camp for your entire summer for so many years.
And then you get told that story.
I think my mom told that story to me, actually. Just fucked me up, I guess.
Just to tell you to your kid at a young enough age to give them a new fear.
Yeah, it is a thing that really happened. I'm pretty sure I read about in her biography later, but
No, I believe
You know.
it. It's just that, like, now I'm going to be concerned. I'm going to wear earplugs every time they throw
Just
rice.
don't throw rice at
Every time you
people
go
at
to a
their
wedding.
weddings. Don't throw rice.
Okay.
Don't
Well,
throw confetti either, or balloons. Blow bubbles.
I think when
You
fucking
can't.
God.
You
when
can't
your sibling
just-
and his fiance, your youngest brother, no, yes, no, whatever.
Oh my
when
god.
we went to that wedding, we threw little small flowers, like lavender and stuff, right?
Those are biodegradable.
Yeah, I
I
believe
guess
that's
so was
correct.
rice,
Yes.
though.
yeah, so it's rice.
So was rice.
So,
Everybody stay home and cover your ears.
hey, you know what? Never go to a wedding, okay? People die at those, okay?
Yeah.
Never put anything bigger than your elbow in your ear.
I don't go to any weddings.
Don't go to any weddings.
Never get married.
There are surgeons out there
A
who will
murder
kill you.
will happen.
A murder will
Yeah.
happen at your wedding.
Oh
And
man,
you'll
I
get
Or
wonder if
even
that-
worse. Larry Butts might be there.
If it
A
smells,
train just like honked while we were having that conversation. I'll find out if that shit's on the recording.
if it smells, it's usually the butts.
Mhm.
So yeah, Pierce has a breakdown. We get him, and then for some reason, we officiate another wedding in this court. It's
The
strange.
judge does.
The judge decides to like do a pseudo wedding in the
Right, it's not official. He just he does it impromptu. He's like, you know what? By the goddess of justice, Themis, do you pledge to love and support each other in sickness and in health? And they're both like, yeah, I do.
and follow
like,
the
"All right."
law.
Yeah, and follow the law.
He says that. He says
So-
specifically, "Do you swear to follow the law?" And I'm like, "Huh? Can you make me swear that?"
So silly. So silly.
I don't know if this man's ordained.
I mean,
He's a judge.
are judges ordained?
I don't know.
Judges-
Me
That's
neither.
why I
stamps-
said I
Their
didn't know.
stamps mean a lot.
Okay, I'm
Pretty sure. Maybe.
maybe.
Ah, fuck.
I don't know if you have to be ordained, but if you're a judge,
It
think
seems
it's
fair. You should
different.
be able to marry somebody in your own court. It's like a captain being able to marry someone on their own ship, right?
yeah.
But this ain't a ship.
Yes, judges can officiate
It's
weddings.
his car and he's steering it.
Hell yeah.
Judges can officiate weddings, huh? See, so I could get married during any court case that I'm in.
It might vary a little bit from state to state, but I think generally that is
Okay,
the case.
interesting. We get to learn something new
So-
again. Very wedding themed
Uh,
episode. This one,
Yeah, don't hold me to that, right?
For
But
the
I'm
wedding
pretty
theme
sure-
case, I guess.
Yeah. I'm glad we didn't learn about steampunk. I'm so...
You guys can't handle me teaching you about steampunk.
I'm good.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm not a steampunk hater. I'm just a prefers other punk kind of person.
There still might be room for more steampunk discussions in the future. You never know. You never know.
Damn.
So yes, this is the judge. Soren carries Ellen out.
I do like
Jetpack
Ellen's
of
final
love.
form where she is a happy bride, but she's still a little disheveled. You know what I mean?
All of her makeup's gone. She cries so hard it all comes off.
Yeah,
It's
she's
her
like just
natural face.
herself, and I'm like,
Got her freckles out.
Yeah.
it was pretty cute.
Shout out to people with freckles. Don't hide them. Your freckles are so cute.
Oh my gosh, yes. Girls with freckles, please call me.
All right, hell yeah.
So they hang out there. You do your little segment out in the courtroom lobby, and you get a unique animation for Soren carrying Ellen and all that. And yeah, then we get an anime cutscene for the very, very end, in which everybody's invited. Phoenix, Maya, and Edgeworth, and Larry all get invited, along with Athena, Emma.
I mean, Larry did deliver.
Technically, he helped. Yep.
Yeah, he
technically.
did bring her to the Phoenix.
So he gets invited. So and yes, then at the end, Ellen throws her bouquet into the air, and we get to see Emma and Athena and Maya all in different unique outfits. Everybody's kind of in their wedding.
Yeah, and they all fail
outfits.
to catch the fucking bouquet, and somehow falls to Larry, and they have to kill him. Now, that wasn't necessarily his fault. They all just sucked at catching.
So, Maya has never expressed interest in getting married. So, like, why'd she care now? Neither did Trucy. I guess Athena would, like, think that it's romantic. Because she's, like, French or whatever. she's Euro-pilled.
Mm-hmm.
Jersey just wants her single dad to find somebody.
Gotcha. Understood.
But Trucy's not even here to catch it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not Trucy. Who's the third?
It's Emma.
Emma, she doesn't care about getting married. She's a scientist.
She just
married
wants
to
to
a job.
participate.
I guess it's just strange
I was
that,
wondering
like...
if they were gonna have like Miles and
How did
Phoenix
Athena
bundle the
get
bouquet,
fucking
but
invited?
that would have been too much, I think.
2 on the nose.
Yeah.
Athena got invited because that's their... Phoenix says it, like Athena wormed her way in. She...
Fucked up.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes the wedding is just like open invitation. If this shit's happening, just like come on down, check it out.
We're rich enough to feed another person.
Exactly. That's the case.
Yeah. That's kind of it.
We
The
did
final
it.
Phoenix
We
Wright
beat the
case.
game.
I feel like you could have had this game without this case without this
Now
game.
we have to play Marvel vs. Capcom with Phoenix in it.
Wait, did this come out after Marvel vs. Capcom 3? That can't be correct.
I'm not playing. I love you guys. I'm not
this was-
playing Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
fine.
just joking. I don't give
Yeah.
a shit about that game.
Marvel whoa. I love Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's like my favorite Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, no, this Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out before this game because this came out in 2016. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is 2011.
Oh no, so we already missed...
That's when we started dating.
The passage of time. So there you
It's
go.
too late to include Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the updated Autopsy report experience.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
There's no
guys.
cases. There's no cases in that.
No, the case is how
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
fucking beat
Every
this
fight
super.
is a case.
The entire like Ace Attorney experience in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is basically the end of the She-Hulk story campaign.
Fuck.
Or not story campaign, but like you play through,
Yeah.
single player mode and you get the little graphic at the end.
Yeah.
And she is like pointing objection at Phoenix and Miles, who are hugging each other in terror at seeing this giant green woman in the courtroom.
Honestly, I would not.
that's-
I would not
Miles
be in
doesn't
terror if
pretty
handle
I.
funny.
women well, so
Honestly, they've seen scarier in the courtroom. I don't know.
I would never be ashamed to see a giant green woman in a courtroom. That's
well,
that's what
Miles
I'm.
would be.
Miles
would
be. Miles would be.
He would
You're
be
so-
afraid.
He'd be afraid.
Miles is afraid of women.
Miles is
Period.
He
okay.
just thinks they're smelly.
Yeah, but sometimes they can smell good.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's wrong, but it's funny.
Okay, fair enough. This is our last adventure with this.
All
Like,
women do are smell bad and lie. Miles Edgeworth.
this is our last adventure with this crew. We don't get to like see them for like in a long time.
Yeah.
This is it.
I mean,
We gotta put our toys
Maybe-
away.
maybe
Nobody else
ever.
has either.
Huh? What was that?
Nobody else has seen them since either.
We gotta
Well,
like.
at least we're all on the same page finally with the listeners.
yeah, you're fully caught up now with the
On
entire
Phoenix's story.
main chronology. So
Now,
now you get to suffer with the rest of us as we wait for Capcom to announce a new Ace Attorney game.
what if they announce
However,
Great
there
Ace
is
Attorney
another Ace
3?
Attorney.
Well, then we'll play
Oh.
that shit too.
Well, yes, that's the thing, isn't it? Is that there's we've got to have some discussions when we get into Great Ace Attorney, right? I could like talk about like the
No,
making
don't.
of that game now, but that really we should save that for when we actually get into that game, I suppose.
Makes 100%
Um,
sense to me. We can wait till that shit later.
Yeah,
But
it's about time for me
Yeah.
to go to sleep.
D bed.
well, yes, then I will wrap it up here then for us, since that's it for Spirit of
Yeah.
Justice. Did anybody have any last thoughts about this game? I mean, we kind of did that with the Case 5. Was kind of our overall thoughts, like it versus
Thanks,
Dual
Mr.
Destinies and all that
Famous.
stuff. So
I love
yeah.
this middle Ace Attorney case.
Yeah,
I love a good middle case.
nice.
It's good shit.
Yeah, then I think that
I feel like this case could have been stronger if they didn't have to just in case somebody who hasn't played the game yet plays this case first.
That's insane. That's
they have to stop doing that.
That's
No
actually
more.
insane. Yeah, no, maybe.
Sorry to all of Japan, but that's not good. Stop doing it.
Why is Japan at fault?
All of Japan's fault.
We've discussed this previously, how this is a common issue.
Yeah, with development, it could be better. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
We don't know if there's any DLC cases in the next games, but if there is, damn, I hope it isn't written in a way where I don't have to play the game first, I guess.
Well,
We'll find out.
yeah. Ooh, yeah.
We'll find out.
There's no DLC for Great Ace Attorney, basically.
Hell yeah.
Not in the not cases, I should say. Everything is in the games.
Yay!
There was like regular, like just like promotional DLC type stuff, but we'll get there when we get there.
Put a hat on your favorite lawyer.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff.
Got it.
So that will do it for us this week. Then you can, as always, keep up with everything we do via the website updatedautopsy.report, which has links to all of our social media accounts. You can watch all of our Let's Plays with Dessy and I playing through the game. That also is available at youtube.com/@Yotseben. And you can follow me on pretty much all social media at Yotseben. Dessy, where can people find you?
At a smoothie bar close to my house.
And Tiago?
You can find me at the website formerly known as Twitter, and my link tree is in the bio.
And Rose?
You can find me at Rose Nonsense on various different social media websites, and you can also, I don't know, find me down at the park. Come to Boston Common, I might be there. Who knows?
If you see
you tucked
Rose,
in,
you're contractually
sleeping.
obligated to hand her money, cash.
That's true, actually.
Yeah. If you see
This
her,
is possible.
so if you see
You
her, make sure to
probably
carry
won't.
some bills. You know.
If you recognize my voice, I'll be impressed, because that's highly unlikely.
Understood.
But I would be very impressed. Anyways, I'll be down at Boston Common. See you later.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. We hope you will rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform of choice. Next time, you've all been waiting for it. We've read your reviews, your comments, your tweets at us saying, I can't wait until you guys get to Great Ace Attorney. Folks, it's finally happening. We are going to be starting Great Ace Attorney next. So next week, we will be playing the first case of the Great Ace Attorney. First game. It came in the US in a dual package with both games called the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. And so this is the first Great Ace Attorney game. And the case is titled The Adventure of the Great Departure. See you next time then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.